Welcome to The Beam, where curiosity stirs conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. Here, we bring you the issues that matter, the voices that challenge, and the insights that inspire. I'm Soonest Nathaniel. So last week on the program, we examined technology and asking ourselves, can it fix Nigeria's trust problems? We asked, are emerging innovations truly solving our challenges? Or are we simply digitizing our failures? Here's what some of you had to say about the topic last week, and it's very insightful. When we go to Facebook, Samuel Okereke said, nothing but the truth. This corruption fighting back. Our so-called leaders who are corrupt are fighting the system that wants to expose them. Vic Anas asserted that technology is not just the problem, it's not the problem rather, for Nigerians. The real problem is the people managing the technology. And then you have Rufai Galadima, he opined that this issue is a national one of national concern. It affects the whole country, social and economic. Let us know where we stand, every senator, and now where do we belong as a people? And from X, Samuel Victor says, technology doesn't create corruption, it exposes it. Digital trails, real-time transmission, and data verification reduces human interference. Once processes are transparent, manipulation becomes harder to deny. 2027 isn't just an election year. It's a test of whether Nigeria is ready to let technology protect its democracy. That was a powerful one. ADC Nipo said, claims some states lack network coverage are no longer acceptable. That is, the claims that some states do not have network coverage are no longer acceptable. Financial institutions operate nationwide through secure networks every day. If banking systems function seamlessly, our electoral system can function too. If the banks are working, the electoral system can work. I want to thank you all for sharing your thoughts. Your voices help us shape these conversations. It really tells us where we're going. And today, we're going even deeper into the conversation. Today, we turn our attention to a force that is shaping our society in real time: social media, technology, and the digital public square. From explicit content down to the question about exploitation, from the issues of artificial intelligence to the fears about election interference. Nigeria and the world are grappling with a digital ecosystem that is evolving faster than our rules, our cultures, and sometimes even our values. We ask, is social media empowering democracy or destabilizing it? Are our platforms protecting our users, or are they profiting from the chaos? Joining me today is none else than Excel Ajah, digital media strategist and CEO, Silicon African Technologies, who is driving innovation in tech and human capital development across Africa. Excel, you're welcome to The Beam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nathaniel.
Yes,
I'm happy to be here today.
It's good to have you back because there's so much happening in that space where you operate, and so we needed to ask you some of those very important questions. I think my first question here, if we're going right into the heart of the matter, is we're at a point in history where so much is at stake and so much has been given. And then the question becomes, is Nigeria first regulating social media optimally to protect its citizens, or are they just protecting politicians?
I would say that every country, first of all, every country in the world, have an aspect of their country that regulates technology, social media. So it is not peculiar to Nigeria. Mm-hmm. When we have excess freedom, it can lead to chaos. When we have excess control, it can actually kill innovation. Mm-hmm. So there has to be a balance. When we're talking about regulating social media, regulating the internet, it is something that the bodies that are in charge of these platforms should be able to strike a balance and also create some level of trust in the citizens, so they know that while we are regulating this, we're trying to protect the citizens. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's not like when you're regulating a social media platform, you are trying to protect politicians, or if citizens know that what you're doing is to protect them and give them a voice, then it will be a welcome idea. As it is right now, I wouldn't say that social media is being regulated to protect politicians. Mm. Nigerians are, if you go online, you see people are airing their views. We don't really have the infrastructure yet to completely say we are regulating the digital space. Because somebody who is in a village can throw out the content online and you see it. Someone in Abuja will do the same thing and you see it. So there is no, at this time, what we need to do is possibly to start to create infrastructure that shows transparency in the regulatory processes.
All right.
That will create the trust in the citizens, so that when this is being done, citizens know that they are being protected and not being silenced.
All right. I think that's it's a very good way to balance it. But you see, we've now come to a part where it's almost like controversies from various posts, like the Queen Nadia TV, the explicit content from there are the things that are trending. I mean, they trend even faster than our policy debates in most cases. And then the question is, what does Nigeria's digital culture say, looking at what we really look at on social media, how we engage on social media? Are the algorithms rewarding those shock and explicit content ahead of something that has substance?
You know that the algorithms are designed to reward reactions.
Exactly.
So, and reactions are triggered by emotions. So any content that has emotional connection with people triggers their reactions. And once they bet on the content, what happens? The algorithm triggers and spreads the content the more. So most of the content that you call substance, content that has substance, they don't have that emotional connection. So the algorithms are designed to spread whatever people react to. And that's why, if you notice, most people who create content now, content are divided into 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds, if you lose the audience, you've lost them. And that is why most of the people who create ads, what they do is that they ensure that the first few seconds in their ad must capture your attention.
Very
attention
captivating.
economy.
But
right?
you see, I mean, I can understand the attention economy. I can understand how you need to be eye-grabbing, right? But you see, part of the whole rules and regulation guiding Facebook, for instance, Instagram, and a lot of this platform says, hey, explicit content should not necessarily be posted here. But somehow they just allow it slide, and those guys continue to, just do their thing and make a lot of money, right? But somehow, if you just post something that has to do maybe with a political thing or anything in that line, you're flagged. Why is it that the algorithm does not automatically flag those explicit content?
The infrastructure, it falls back to infrastructure. If you go to the United Kingdom, the US, there are strict rules and set of standards to content that must be in the public space. In Africa, we don't have that yet. So because of this, there is great exposure. Even if you look at it, people from outside of the country post content and we see it. Some of those content may not be viewable in their region because we don't have control here yet. And that is why we need to start building our own infrastructure, because these platforms you're mentioning are all borrowed infrastructure. We as Africans don't have control over them, right? So it begs the question, what are we doing about structuring our own systems? Before contents are published on our digital spaces, what is the rule? How are we tightening the rule so that only quality content can be shared on our digital spaces, right?
It's interesting that you say that, because there are content that you create and they cannot be shown in Europe, they cannot be shown in America. Like you said, their own content can come here.
Yes.
How then do we break that? How do we break that dynamics? Because it almost seems like, hey, it's big brother against small brother, right?
That is what it is. As at this time, we don't have the infrastructure yet. And that is why our regulatory bodies must begin to put structures in place that will align with what is already existing. With that, we can be able to possibly increase or tone up our regulatory activities of contents that go into digital space.
Right.
Yes.
So part of the things we saw recently was the Ghana incident involving a foreign content creator who's filming some sexual encounters with some persons. And we also have one that had to do with one of the other countries, while the Ghana one was with the women, the other one was with the men, and it's a little chaotic, it's a little disheartening, right? And so the question then becomes exploitation, which is where we're coming from, exploitation of African digital spaces. Are we just becoming soft targets and for just global opportunists?
Not that we are becoming a soft target. Africa is prone to virality, right? We have the numbers, we have the engagement. If you drop a content, the same audience you have in Africa, a lot of people who don't have what they are doing are available to view them. And the algorithm still rewards the reactions. So a content that should have gotten maybe 500 views in Europe because less people are interested in it. It doesn't have the trigger in the first place. We will land here and you see multiple millions of impressions because reactions are happening. People are commenting, people are reacting, people are liking, people are viewing it, right? So the algorithm is actually what is spreading the content.
What does it say about us as a people, about our culture, about our intelligence, about knowledge, about ignorance, about where we are as a people today?
I will fall back to the infrastructure. Content platforms, social media platforms are designed not to reward value. They are designed to reward reactions, to reward emotional triggers. So most people who understand this leverage the emotional connection of people.
So it's not just about what the content is.
Yes, of course. So once the algorithm sees people are interested in this stuff, it spreads it.
Wow.
That makes it really very dangerous, right? Because most emotionally connected content may not be the educative ones.
Exactly.
So it now behooves people who have good content of substance to know how to add emotional intelligence into their content to also trigger the algorithm.
It's a lot. It's a lot because sometimes the way to balance that can be very tricky. But I mean, it's good that you are saying this because perhaps you just add one or two more things that we need to do. Like you've said, those who have real substance can also now start doing something more creative. But what about the government? What do they do? Where do they come in? Where do all the regulators come in to help, mitigate some of the explicit content and all the craziness that we're seeing?
This will have to do with government organizations interfacing with the platform owners at that point. So it's no more government with the people. It's government versus government or government versus platform owners. So let's say the regulatory bodies in the country or in Africa should be able to speak to platform owners and say, we don't like this kind of content or allowing this kind of content to fly in our region. Can you put a stop to it, or can you regulate this and not let any explicit content fly in our region? So it's not about the government and the people, it's about the government and the platform owners. Yeah.
All right. In just a minute before we go on the break, I wanted to ask, we still do not have stars for Nigeria, like Facebook stars per se. It doesn't necessarily work for Nigerians if you're domiciled in Nigeria and all the rest. Is 2026 a year that looks like we can have that dialogue and have more people get some more funds from what they create?
I've actually noticed that most of the times, Africa, Nigeria, we are just like an afterthought of all of these benefits.
You keep triggering me. Like an afterthought. But we have the numbers that they want over there.
We don't have the infrastructure. You don't own the system. So the guy who owns the system is the one in charge of what you do on the system. So that's where the problem is. So often experiments are done, access is given. When they have, when people already making money or benefiting from the platform, they think, can we give these guys access? You remember recently, PayPal started allowing Nigerians to,
We are going to come to PayPal because it's not still working. Let's go on a break. You're watching The Beam, a place where the oldest record reads the future is interrogated and power indeed is held to purpose. Stay back. We're coming back with something very interesting. Don't be long. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm in conversation with Excel Ajah. Ajah, I hope I got that right. I need to know how to pronounce that well. Yes, Ajah, good. And we're exploring social media, AI, digital power, and the future of democracy in Nigeria and beyond. You were saying something about allowing us, be able to make some money from, PayPal and all the rest. I wanted you to land on that thought, something of that nature.
Okay, I was trying to mention the fact that if you don't own the platforms, it may be difficult for you to control what happens on the platform. And the fact that Africans, Nigerians are often like an afterthought. When PayPal announced that they are partnering with Paga to
yeah.
give us access to, international gateway for payments. People were happy and rejoicing. But the question I asked was, did we win actually? Or these people just saw that Nigerian fintech market is booming and Nigerians are transacting billions and they are not in the equation. They now decided to come in. Is it that Nigeria became trustworthy overnight in 2026? And unfortunately, even in 2026, they did not open the gateway for us. They had to use a platform to give us access. It simply means they opened the door and still held the key. Right? Why stop Nigerians from creating an account on PayPal directly and transacting as other people?
But why then does it feel like the government is not... We're talking digital economy. I've not seen a reaction from the government that says, hey, we want to fight this gateway thing. Why does it seem like it's not happening?
Beyond it's not about government stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's about the fact that we don't own the infrastructure. What we need to do is start setting infrastructure in our own system.
What would it take for us to have that infrastructure? Why is it taking too long?
I would say that Africa, by extension, Nigeria, at this time, we don't really have the system that can carry the level of development that's happening globally at this time. You have to be honest about it, right? The government is trying, but there are systems that should have been in place way long before now that could enable innovation to thrive. But while you are trying to get some things done, even as an ecosystem person developing in your own small area, there are a lot of infrastructure that are not helping you to get the results you want. It will take some time, honestly. It's an evolution happening.
All right, let's get now into the political sphere, because social media is going to be a battleground in the coming elections. And then where we come in to ask questions is looking at the opportunities in AI. Where are we right now when it comes to how this is going to play out? Elections, election campaigns, how it's going to play out. What are you looking at as strategies? What are you thinking? Where's your head in right now as regards this combination?
As a matter of fact, the elections that are coming, right, a lot of narrative will be shaped by social media. Unlike before, people go to campaign in the grassroots. The grassroots is on social media right now. And anybody who understands the algorithms and is able to trigger it will be on the headlines consistently, right? So this coming elections, campaign strategies will involve algorithm strategies as well. Any team, any party that wants to lead the conversation must understand how to leverage social media as a core platform to drive their messaging and tell people what it is that they're going to do for them.
So are we still going to be seeing, that's fair, the play-off on serious versus serious content? Will it still be playing out? On serious versus maybe comedy being used as those kind of things. And so serious content, which will trigger, which will not trigger, where does it go from there?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, everyone who wants to drive engagement on social media, well, no matter the topic you're talking about, have to ensure that there are emotional connections, right? Whether you're saying something serious, ensure that you have to trigger the emotions of people to be able to discover you. As a matter of fact, in the next few years, visibility will be decided by those who are visible on social media platforms. And it is your presence on these platforms that... Let me share this with you, right? Most people cannot get to the people in the village. But the content on Facebook can reach people in their village, whether in the morning, in the evening, or in the night. So social media platforms will become a major campaign ground in these coming elections.
Now, looking at AI, explicit content like we've talked about, and all the crazes that can go on social media, are you envisaging a point in which we say, hey, there have to be stricter measures as regards what we are going to be posting? There have to be stricter measures as regards what is going to be going on social media with respect to both content for young people, elections, and all the rest. Do you think that should happen this year?
Of course, I feel there has to be stricter measures by authorities. Why? Because it will be difficult to separate
fake news from
what is real. Because AI, deepfakes, are like the order of the day. And a lot of people who are smart will begin to use that as a channel of sending out content out there. And what will now be the role of institutions is to be very quick to possibly release the real stuff. You know,
so
fact-checking.
Real-time
fact-checking. That's what will happen in the next few years, right? So as a matter of fact, every brand, every organization have to have their digital presence in real time. Checking and be sure that whatever is going out there is actually being fact-checked and they are correcting the narrative. If not, a lot of fake news will be out there. You know, deepfakes are really happening and it's even exploding the more. People using people's faces to say things and their voice to say the same thing. So whoever it is that wants to possibly confirm anything has to be in real time to show that this is me, this is the real person that is talking. You know, many things will happen and they will accuse AI though.
So some real things will happen.
Some real things will happen and people, will accuse AI. And that's where the problem may even arise from the more.
So does that call to question maybe a digital literacy gap that needs to be, bridged, that people need to have more digital literacy, they need to be taught, they need to be educated as regards what to look out for?
That's where orientation comes in. Many people need to understand. See, we're discussing this as experts, but a lot of Nigerians don't yet know the difference between an AI content and real content. So there is a big gap, right, that has to be filled by education. So we hope that government agencies, individuals like us, part of what we're doing now is educating the people, telling them that, as a matter of fact, you should be looking out for content and be dividing them into two, real and fake. By the time people have this information and have it enough, they'll be able to separate possibly AI-generated content. And if you notice online, on Facebook, they actually made it that when you generate a content with AI, there's an AI tag on it, but not everybody can find that.
Not everybody sees that.
Not everybody sees that, yes.
So do you think our civic societies, the government itself, and do you think we are ready for the AI-driven political campaigns and the AI manipulations we are seeing? You think we're ready? Truth
be told, the speed at which things are happening, we are not matching the pace, really, right? I wouldn't say we are completely ready, but I will advise that we speed up what it is we're doing.
Exactly.
Because if there were fake news in the last elections, it will be triple this time. Because everybody has access to digital assets. People can use AI to, a lot of things are going to be spreading on the internet. So the civil society has to up their game.
All right. Okay, we must thank you, Excel Ajah, for your insight and candor. We must thank you also for the work that you're doing, basically educating people, advancing innovation, and your digital responsibility is actually admirable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Our friends, that's the much we can take on the beam today. As usual, we're going to be leaving you with our top 5 videos of the week. I am Soonest Nathaniel, and I'm urging you, as always, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep beaming your light where it matters the most. May this great nation continue to rise and flourish. Bye for now. This week, we begin our countdown with a reaction trail in Senate resolution on e-transmission.
Mr. President, I claim a division. In respect of? We need to vote individually now. That motion.
In fourth place, Senator Ningi addresses the issue of real-time transmission of election results.
And the issue of that e-transmission was an issue that is bipartisan in nature.
Coming third on our list is a clip in which we see a shouting match ensue between Senator Shomole and the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. In second place, actor turned politician Kenneth Okonkwo says Senate must remove manual transmission clause completely to ensure transparency in the coming election.
As to electronically transmission of the election results from the polling unit.
in real time. Where it is not possible, the election in that polling unit should be cancelled and should be rescheduled. How many times have we cancelled any election because Beavers has not been working?
For our top video this week, Kenneth Okonkwo again fought Senate President Godswill Akpabio over handling of Electoral Act amendment.
And you have a Senate President who wants to rig election, who wants to manipulate election by Supreme Court's own submission, who wants Nigerians to lose confidence in the election. Because the Supreme Court has told you that the best way to make sure that the people have confidence in the election is immediately you finish in the polling unit, let them see their result in their own phone.
That's it on our countdown today. Join us next week for more.